Okay, so this is the first video for a student of level 3 building construction services. This is level 3 BDC. So, and of course, and related trades and related trade. Level 3, level 3. Okay, so it means that a bunch of level 3 can use this video, which has it is for this module. This is the module code. This module code, and this is the module name. Is applied mathematics, and the module competence is apply algebra and trigonometry. Even though we also have complex numbers, and trigonometry can help expressing complex numbers in different forms, being polar form or exponential forms. So this is where trigonometry comes in. But about algebra, we have usual algebra and also algebra of complex numbers in this module. So this module is also comprised of 4 learning outcomes. Learning outcome. Everywhere we write this one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 outcomes. So AO means abbreviation for learning outcome. Okay, this is what we want the student to want to know to apply after the module is taught. Okay, there is the other abbreviation also, IC. This is for LO. There is also another abbreviation, I.C. This is the abbreviation for indicative content. Indicative content. I for indicative and C for content. Okay, this is what we have for level 3. So we have other module with different codes, probably with different name, but we consider this because this is what we have to teach this year, level 3 BDC. So this module was released in April, by April 2022. So I didn't find any new one apart from this. This is what was in on the links that were given in order to follow these to teach this module by the end of this year. Okay, so now let us go through these learning outcomes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 learning outcomes. The first one is solve algebraically or graphically linear equation and quadratic equations together with the corresponding inequalities. Here each for equation, INEQ abbreviated for inequalities. Okay, the second one is apply matrices in solving simultaneous linear equations. The third one, apply fundamentals of trigonometry. The last, number 4, but not the least, of course, is apply This apply fundamentals of complex numbers. This is the 4 learning outcomes. Learning outcome number 1 is comprised of 4 indicative content. The first one is solving linear equations and inequalities. The second one, discussion on the parameters of a given linear equation or quadratic equation also. Indicative content number 3, solving 2 simultaneous linear equations. Indicative content number 4, solving quadratic equations. These are indicative contents in learning outcome number 1. And of course, this number, the first index here indicates the learning outcome, and the other indicates the number of the number indicating the indicative content, their number or their level. So the first one, the second, the third, the fourth. So learning outcome number 2. Apply matrices in solving linear equations. So here we will use mostly determinant in order to apply matrices in solving simultaneous linear equations. But first of all, an indicative content number 1, we will need to describe properties of matrices. Number 2, we will compute determinant of a matrix. This is a matrix determinant. Indicative content number 3, we will use these determinant to solve linear equations. Specifically, we focus on Cramer's method. As it is indicated in the curriculum. So we now move to again for the first learning outcome, this number indicates it is index for learning outcome number 2 and the number of learning indicative contents. Learning outcome number 3, it is about apply fundamentals of trigonometry. So here we use some trigonometry, some element in trigonometry, in order we apply them to solve different problems. So the first indicative content, the description of angles. Here we will mostly focus on different units of angles and their conversion from one to another, and some simple theorem about angles, especially in triangles, because we are dealing with trigonometry. Indicative content number 2, we determine trigonometric ratios. We define and determine what is a trigonometric ratio. So number 3, description of trigonometric identities. We have different trigonometric identities. So we try to describe them. So for example, there are a number of identities we can prove. Others, it is just at the level of it is description. We can prove the basic one, but others just be described. So now indicative content number 4 is solving trigonometric equations. So now number 5, we solve a triangle. Here, solving a triangle, by definition of trigonometry, it is to give relationship between sides. Relationship between sides of a triangle and angles. So in each triangle, so if we are given sides, so we can find its angles, and if we are given its angles subject to some condition about the sides, we can find the sides, and so on and so forth, and we can apply to find the area and so on. Learning, so this index is to indicate the level of learning outcome. It is level 3. So this index, it is to indicate the level of content at level 1, at level 2, 3, 4, 5. So because we have 5 contents, so the fourth contents, the third, it is description of trigonometric identities. So in general, in mathematics, when you normally, as they are indicated, they should be given as such, meaning that normally we can't start at the third one and end by the first one. Normally, the first one should be also the first in studying it, in learning it, the second, the third, and so on, the fourth, so that the fifth one is for some improved applications. So last learning outcome, but not the least, it is apply fundamentals of complex numbers. Here we describe complex numbers, we perform some operation. Here operation mostly are binary operations, but we also have a unary operation like finding inverse of a matrix, binary operation like addition, multiplication, subtraction of matrices. These are just the binary operation. Unary operation like finding, for example, inverse or transpose, also transpose operation, inverse operation. But for binary operation, we will have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and so on and so forth. Division, sometimes we may define division in terms of multiplication. Now, this learning, what we talked about, what am I talking about? No, these are for complex. These operations are for what? For not for complex numbers, but I was confused. It is about matrices. That operation about matrices. So here, okay, here, of course, here also we talk about binary operation and unary operation, but here we don't have transpose and inverse. So here we will have also binary operation for complex numbers like addition, like subtraction, and multiplication, of course. There are unary operation also for complex numbers. If we binary operation for conjugation, for example, conjugation. Find the conjugate of a complex number. This is like a unary operation on the